So what do you know about Isaac Newton?
He's the one that had the apple fall on his head.
The apple fell on his head.
Apple falling from the tree?
He discovered gravity.
Well, created the term gravity, but he kind of discovered it.
Gravity?
Physicist.
Yeah, bunch of physics stuff.
Physics, isn't he one of the top guys for physics, like the first one?
Do you consider him to be a modern scientist?
He's probably done some modern stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, I would say he's a modern scientist.
I guess so. We still use his laws and his equations in like a bulk of my engineering classes, so I guess, yeah, no one's really like taking the crown over him.
So, like you said, a lot of people actually view Newton now as a modern day physicist. But what they don't know is that he was actually an alchemist. He studied alchemy and theology. Does that surprise you?
That's a little weird, yeah.
That's weird.
It's weird.
I think I saw that on a program too.
What do you know about alchemy? What's the first thing that pops into your head?
Witches and potions.
You know, old school chemistry where they were trying to make gold out of anything they can find. They're trying to find things that would help heal people, things like that.
Well, the book, The Alchemist. So I know it's like a bunch of mystical type stuff that isn't really like based in reality. So it's just a little weird because he's like a profound scientist and the stuff isn't really like necessarily real.
What do you think motivated Newton's studies?
Just trying to understand. That's what scientists do. They try to understand.
Because the apple fell on his head, he wanted some answers.
He wanted
Why'd that have to happen to him?
Hold on, I don't know how to say this. Well, they said that his like origin story was him like sitting on a tree and like an apple falling under it, but like now I don't really know if that's true or if that makes sense.
So Newton actually studied alchemy because the subject had an inherent spiritual quality to it. And during this time in the 17th century, many natural philosophers were trying to support the existence of God, and they held a mechanical philosophy, which was popular, but it painted God as an intelligent designer who set the universe in motion, but it also implied that God was absent once the motion was set, so that he doesn't play an active role in the universe. Newton wanted to rebuke this through his studies of alchemy, so his intentions in the subject were inherently religious.
We still like believe this stuff? We still like follow what he said? Okay.
So more on Newton's religious beliefs, he also gained attention in the early 2000s when his work was uncovered trying to decode the Bible and his predictions of the apocalypse and Revelations. So Newton spent the majority of his later life trying to predict the end of the world. Newton predicted that the end of the world would occur in about 2060.
He said 2060?
2060.
He couldn't have made it a couple more years.
So Newton thought that the Bible contained all of God's laws of the universe. And one of his major motivations was to uncode these laws and support God's role. And he also believed that plagues and war would wreak havoc on the earth, and then the second coming of Christ would occur, and then after that, saints would then reign the earth. And he thought of himself to be one of those saints that will reign on the earth after the second coming of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Would that surprise you?
Not anymore. Not after Galileo.
How does this make you feel?
Like he's a cuckoo.
I'm a little scared right now. I'm not gonna lie. Because like, or all like his laws and like his equations and stuff, they're all his, right? So like this guy might be on to something. I'm a little concerned right now.
Does it conflict with your ideas of a scientist who are
Yeah.
trying to find? Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, they should be objective and not have any outside influences. It sounds like he's setting out to prove a point rather than find the truth, through experimentation.
But it is a little wacky for him to like have all these like legit like science theorems and laws and then like say all that stuff too. I don't know. It's hard to think about.
Is it hard to think about because he did this for religious reasons?
Yes, because I guess most science is, well, we don't really get like the religious side of stuff. Even in like Catholic school, they wouldn't even tell us this stuff, and we learned about Newton. So it's just like weird because when you're learning it, they're seen as two separate entities, but like in the past two cases, like it's not. It's the same thing. It's them using religion to perform the task that they think they have to do in science.